All right, welcome guys to the MMOs.com podcast. This is a new year, and we are now on episode 85, and I'm joined fresh off the New Year's partying by
Omer,
Gumble,
Matt,
Shirelia.
the whole crew is here. That's right. We always get the names right when everyone's here. Bada bing.
Did you get messed up last time when I was gone?
Yeah, you
How do you mess it up when I'm gone? I'm last. There's no excuse.
The feng shui gets off if you're not here. All right, the feng shui gets off.
I see.
And anyway, this week we're gonna have Gumby take it up with the weekly raid before we get too sidetracked right away.
Okay, I'm gonna take it away. We're starting off the new year right in a classic MMO weekly raid, which is full of pessimism. And we all know that MMOs and pessimism are everyone's favorite intoxicating drink. So we're asking, we're gonna get out of the way now. What will be the most disappointing MMO of 2017? We have a lot to choose from. There's a lot of games coming out. A lot of games that people have been waiting for a long time, such as, say, Albion Online or Crowfall. And if you need a refresher, we actually have a list here, the upcoming 2017 MMOs. Now, as you scroll down the list, they all look fine, but they can't all be winners. So we're going to go ahead and talk some smack, and we're going to figure out which one is going to rip our hearts apart right now on January 3rd. So let's go ahead and take it away. Roundtable discussion.
All right, I'm gonna go for the low hanging fruit. All right, this is like the obvious one.
Get out of the way.
The low hanging fruit. All right, first of all, it starts scheduled to come out in 2017. Before
That's not fair. That's too low. That one's on the ground.
that fruit's already on the ground and spoiled. Fine, we can't.
It's rotting.
Fine. Then I'm gonna go with almost like a fan favorite, simply because it's mega overhyped. Lost Ark. It's a game that we've seen the videos for. We've gotten excited about. I'm still excited about it, but I'm worried it's gonna be 27. If it comes out in 2017, it's gonna be disappointing because any game that has that level of hype, it's so hard to live up to it. Look, I saw the trailers. I thought they were okay, but in its core, it seems like another Moonlight style game, another Lineage Eternal, an ARPG kind of game. And if it pulls it off, it'll do well. But the amount of hype is unusual for the game. It's like everyone's expecting this next great thing, this godly thing. And from what we've seen about it, it just looks like a really polished ARPG. I mean, not necessarily bringing anything too new to the table, but it's got all that hype, and for that reason, I think it could be a big disappointment. And I don't mean to bash the game. I hope it does well, but we've seen time and time again, Tree of Savior, and all that hype flopped. I mean, No Man's Sky, obviously, it flopped for other reasons too, but all that hype and then it flopped. So I'm scared that Lost Ark may be disappointing in the future. That's mine.
That's fair. That's a fair one. I actually was thinking along those lines as well. If it even comes out in 2017, which I'm going to go ahead and doubt, but we'll see. Mm-hmm. Anyone else have any winners they'd like to share?
Oh, winners.
By winners, I mean losers. I mean big old losers.
Of course.
WildStar?
Well, WildStar's not coming out in 2017. We can talk about WildStar, though. It is on the agenda.
Mm-hmm. Can I pick the
Nintendo
I get a
Switch?
Sure.
No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, it's worth bringing up WildStar because that's going to come up next.
I'll go ahead and take it away while you guys look over the list, and I'm going to go ahead and pick a left fielder. There's a lot of hope behind this one. I'm going to go ahead and snatch it away. Conan Exiles is Funcom's last-ditch attempt to save themselves from dire financial straits. It's a survival game. It has a lot of unique things going for it, and the reason why I am looking at it as my biggest disappointment is that it's another survival game, but not just that, it's releasing into early access. And unless it can really pizzazz the shit out of the early access crowd right from the beginning, I think the hype will die and people will go back to their usual games like Rust or DayZ or whatever. It's just that this is too late to the survival barrage, and I don't think it's different enough to stand out. But we'll see. That's my most disappointing title, and I'm going to be playing it because I'm a survivor or survival aficionado. It's a fun thing to say.
I have a quick question related to Conan Exiles for you guys.
Sure.
Does the Conan brand, because it is Conan Exile, it's based on the Conan Barbarian franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Does that brand resonate at all with you guys? I mean, I consider myself one of the older people that play these kinds of games, and Conan was never a thing on TV, and I'm 27. You guys have any connection with Conan? Does it mean anything to you guys?
Nothing.
Yeah,
it does,
No.
but only because I was part of the niche that it's from, but it doesn't have the widespread mass appeal
Shoot, what about you? Nothing?
Yeah, I said nothing. Sorry, I muted to blow my nose because I had already said nothing.
All right.
Oh.
I mean, it's just like I don't know. I feel like I understand why they're doing it. I don't know. I mean, I guess they already had the Conan franchise. Like, might as well make it Conan rather than anything else. It literally means nothing to I think most of us in here.
It's
I mean,
just weird. Like it's a weird thing to make an
Yeah.
MMO after.
I think the thing about Conan, and this is more important than I think any other thing about Conan,
Mhm.
I don't think there's been a single successful Conan game. I think every single one has been like moderately okay at best. You know what I mean? Like I don't think there's been a single like truly great Conan game.
I think it's
And
fair to say that the Conan MMO flopped. I mean, that's a fair statement. The company that makes the game, Funcom, is like was teetering on bankruptcy just like earlier this year. So it is fair to say that I don't think we've had a single successful Conan game, unless it's like an obscure SNES game that like blew it out of the park. You know?
But I mean, I think in terms of gaming, I don't think there's any like clout at all. I think it's mostly going to be people that read shit. Is it a comic series or a book series? I can't remember.
Book series by Robert Howard.
I think most people that are going to be attached to it are going to be the people that read the books rather than the people that saw like the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie or something. Or
Right.
gamers.
You know, they remade it, by the way. Quick aside, they remade the Conan movie. It was a hilarious flop, but yeah, I think the IP itself is too weak as well. I think you're right. Any other games we can pick out of this list? Nope, that's not happening.
All right, so Worlds Adrift, right? They dropped the NDA, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and say Worlds Adrift. And I have not played a playtest in a while, but when I did play it, I didn't see a cohesive game. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't see where the longevity was in it. I just didn't get it. Like, it basically is a game where you jump from, like, island to island, build ships, and fight them in air while exploring this massive open world. And I mean, I won't deny that the tech is cool. Like the fact that any item is just gonna like always be there until somebody moves it. You know, it's cool. But what they've made with it is just it feels like another Bossa Studios like physics experiment. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like Surgeon Simulator and everything. There's like a loose game there, but it just doesn't feel like there's going to be anything that in the long term holds you. And so that's why I'm not really looking forward to Worlds Adrift myself.
I think it's fair. I mean, it's yeah.
I want to go back to Conan for a second before I give my game. I think it's kind of sad that Funcom was one of the few MMORPG like solely dedicated developers, right? There was Turbine, they're gone. SOE is gone, at least as a dedicated MMORPG company. So that's kind of Funcom now is going with the survival games. I think it's gonna make financial sense for them. I think it'll sell enough copies to not be a disaster. It'll make money more than Secret World did. That was the real flop for them, not Conan, the MMORPG. For my game, disappointment I think is going to be Shroud of the Avatar. This game is actually going to come out this year. Apparently, that's what they're saying.
That's low hanging fruit. That fruit's on the floor too.
Really?
That's what I feel.
I don't think so, but
It's okay. Go ahead. He took it this way. You're taking a bite of the rotten fruit.
Okay. So I'm actually surprised that the recent reviews have been mostly positive. Because I remember a couple months ago, I looked at the reviews and they were all negative. This game has been in development for a while now. An official Steam release date, it has 2014.
No, really?
Because I guess that's when it first came out on paid early access, and you can still pay for it, $40. This game was supposed to be, Richard Garrett and Lord British's like comeback, old school RPG, Ultima style. It didn't live up to that. It's made by Portalium. I don't know how to pronounce that, but they were basically a mobile mobile game developer, right? And they decided to make this, and it's sad to say that like someone who pioneered the genre, right? MMORPGs, even he can't make a modern MMORPG. So what hope does anyone else have? So that's why I say Shroud of the Avatar is my most disappointing. I think will be the most disappointing, because not only will it be a disappointing game, but the fact that one of the pioneers of the genre couldn't make a comeback in the genre.
So it's like the Who playing Super Bowl. It's just a sad old man trying to relive rock and roll, and he can't do it.
I don't know.
There are two important notes I think about that too. Portalarium also tried to make a browser plugin that would allow higher quality games to be put in the browser, and basically like failed to like really have that take off either. And also, Shroud of the Avatar itself, they've said apparently in the past, I've read that they were going to completely redo the graphics basically, and that a lot of what you still see is placeholder. Now it's coming out this year, and all that placeholder shit is still there. Like, I don't understand how they're going to redo most of the graphics in this, like, 6 months that it seems like they're going for.
Yeah, I like I said, if this is the best that the guy behind Ultima Online can do today, it's disappointing for the genre and outlook, I think.
And how much money did they end up raising from crowdfunding anyway? Anybody have any number? Because I'm sure they were on Kickstarter, Indiegogo. It looks
I
like
think it's over 12 million now.
Really? No way.
Yeah.
That's crazy. All right, I'm looking at their homepage. It says again, I don't know when they said they put a crowdfunding record. I'm not sure how old this post is. Let's go to their homepage. Wow, holy crap! It's about $11 million. I didn't think it was that high.
I mean, they do have a page for it on their site. I just put it on
Yeah.
the stream. Basically, raised through Kickstarter is to about 2 million. Raised through their website about 9 million. So total raised about 11.
That's a lot of money. Wow, I thought it was much less. But again, this is a guy who raised. He's somebody who has industry experience. He pioneered the genre basically with Ultima Online. He popularized the genre rather than not pioneered. But he has a design experience. He's worked on other games too, and with about 11 million bucks, and he obviously his own mass personal wealth. So far we have this, and it's just sad that we have somebody who has.
I mean,
all
it
this
might
experience.
still surprise us. I don't think any of us have actually played it, right?
Yeah.
So we're not being fair, but it doesn't look like it plays well. It doesn't look good either. And the fact that look, everything is caps here in the description for the game. That's always a bad sign when you have to use all caps.
That's the DayZ thing.
Here's a bad sign to me, right? And this is going to sound kind of biased, okay? But this is a pretty bad sign to me. They've done crossover promotions with Star Citizen, including introducing in-game items that were branded with the Star Citizen logo.
Oh no! Look, you put two Dukes together, you get a Diamond Mech. Come on, that's how alchemy works. Oh no! Sure, you have any potentially disappointing games for us in 2017?
Soul Worker, because it's probably not going to come out.
All right, that's fair because I don't think it's going to come out. It probably might haven't come out. We've heard nothing about it since the original, Game 4's splash page. Really,
That's a bad sign. So then maybe it'll come out after 2017, which would be the disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
I think
I-
more
No matter
generally, a lot of these foreign games aren't going to come to the West, so that'd be a big disappointment overall.
I still think that Soul Worker, they weren't ready to announce it, and what's probably going to happen is it's going to get published in Korea first, and then they'll start talking about the North American release.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, guys, we had this whole segment at the beginning is disappointing games of 2017, but I want to clarify very quickly that I'm not particularly grim on the genre either. I mean, there is always this consensus on MMORPG, on gaming forums that the MMO genre is dead. I think we've all heard it many times. But if you look at the actual numbers, the people playing MMOs and how much money MMOs are making has only been going up. Obviously, I think there has been a slowdown in the Western, quote-unquote AAA market, but the number of people playing games are going up. MMOs, people spending money in these games is going up, mainly due to the large Asian market. But these games have always been huge in Asia. They've always been kind of small in the West. So the genre is not dead. Okay, we want to clarify. No matter what skepticism and cynicism you hear, the genre is still alive and well. All right, just because
I'll preface that.
Okay.
MMOs might be alive and well, but MMORPGs specifically.
Nope. They're still growing. I bet you they're still growing. I'll find specific stats on MMORPGs, but even those are still growing. Mainly thanks again to
What I'm saying
China.
is the doom and
Korea.
gloom is mostly an MMORPG genre specifically, not MMOs in general. No one's saying League and Overwatch and stuff aren't doing well. Yeah.
But again, if you look
And
at
Those aren't MMOs.
I mean, if you guys
Typing
ever
on
play,
YouTube.
if you guys ever play like some of the more major games on like the Korean or Chinese servers, you're going to see hundreds of people like all the time.
Mhm.
I mean, and it's a huge difference. So, I mean, it really is. I don't think that our culture as a whole in the West really wants to spend the time that MMOs really require as a larger community, rather than just those of us that are dedicated to it. And it's kind of funny when you think about it because of how much time people end up putting into MOBAs, but it's just the perception that you like have more control over how much time that you will put into MOBAs and shooters that allows them to put that much time into it, I think, rather than MMOs where you're constantly thinking, but I'm not max level yet.
Mm-hmm. I think when you have all these options, people are so eager to switch between games, you don't commit. And I don't think people, when people play a game for like an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours at a time, I think unless you really put in the time, you don't really even enjoy the game. Like, you have to really commit to a game. And I think we'd all be better off if we just had less choice almost to a degree. It sounds kind of counterintuitive. But, if we only had, like, let's say, Night Online or even, like, Fly for any game, right? If we only had that game to play and we just actually ended up playing it, I think we'd all have fun. But the moment we have, like, 100 different choices, it's paralyzing. You jump from one game to the other. You always want to see what's on the horizon, and you end up doing nothing.
Expectations changed faster than anything else. Because if you look at those, like I think EverQuest peaked around 1 million subs. Ultima Online had 250 million. I mean,
No,
250,000. And then, yeah. So there are plenty of MMORPGs with big player bases today, like ESO, Star Wars, The Old Republic, WoW, still Final Fantasy 14. It's just that we're comparing the genre now to like bigger games, like more broad-based genres, whether it's MOBA or like mobile games. I don't think MMORPGs can ever be that big, but they don't have to be because they were never that big to begin with.
Yeah, but my point is they're not dead. People have been saying they're dead. I think they're just plain wrong.
Well, that's because they're comparing it again, like I said, to League of Legends, or game or genres with bigger appeal.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I guess we beat that one in.
And before we jump into the topic, Massively OP, another gaming site, they did their own survey for what they polled their users, what their users said would be the biggest flop of 2017 or beyond. And here's where Shu's favorite game gets some mention. There was a tie between WildStar and Star Citizen on Massively OP.
Oh, damn. See, I was right the whole time. Look, it's getting compared to Star Citizen. I mean, come on, guys.
But what's funny is if you scroll down to their actual results, Star Citizen had a lot more votes of being the biggest flop in 2017 or beyond than WildStar. But they kind of clumped them together because those are the only two games that were like, I guess, the biggest flops. Yeah, the biggest potential dukers.
That was a good segue for my. I wanted to bring up some bets for 2017 here when it's fresh in the first podcast of the year. So first bet: what month will WildStar shut down this year? So your options are January to December or not this year.
I feel like not this year might be a safe bet only because you get the everything after 2017.
You got more. What do you guys say? Let's go round table.
Let's go round table.
Let's go. I'm gonna put the pressure on Gumbel. Go. You go first.
I'm gonna write these down, by the way.
June, done.
Okay.
All right, June.
I'm writing it down. Don't worry.
Not this year. That's me.
All right, Matt. Not this year.
Not this year. Gumbel says June.
Omar.
I'll do. I'm gonna say September of 2017. All right.
I'm gonna say late November.
All right.
Christmas time.
All right, I'll be the outlier. I'll say early, so I'll say April this year, so 4 months.
Just put you on there too. April. All right, those are the dates they're in for our first bets of. Well, by the way, what are we wagering? We got to put the wager down.
Winner gets to pick one of the games, Sunday Funday or Friday Grind Fest.
All right, and for the rest of the week, everyone has to call them senpai. In all correspondence, both on stream and off stream. And any violation.
So are we getting rid of the old WildStar shutdown one?
Hey guys, this is some air from MMOs.com. Where is that?
Way at the bottom.
Way at the bottom. So let's look at these as well. Wow, we have predictions again. I didn't even see these.
Let's get rid of that.
Fine, those are all gone. Let's forget about those. We're starting over on those predictions anyway. And because we're talking about some bets, let's get some updates on previous bets. So the most recent bet that's going to settle is I made a bet that Battleborn will go free to play in 6 months, and I made a $10 bet with Matt, and that bet was back in September of 2016. I only have 2 months left for my bet to pan out. Otherwise, I pay $10 to Matt. So hopefully, I'm really hoping it goes free to play now because I'm running out of time. But I still believe that bet has time to pan out. I think I'll still win, and I still have 8 months for Overwatch to go free to play. That one's a bit more of a long shot. I think I have a better shot for Battleborn to go free to play the next 2 months.
I don't think Overwatch is going free.
All right, well,
You're gonna
we'll
lose out
see.
on that one.
I think we got this. Actually, while we're talking about potential shutdowns for WildStar, it's worth mentioning too that even a game like I think one reason Matt may be right in saying not this year is if you look at Firefall. Remember Firefall? We the website went down. We thought it shut down, right? But it's back. And I was actually curious about like how is Firefall still a thing, right? Like nobody. So I go on their homepage and there's literally been 0 news posts on their news section since May 26th of 2016. So Firefall is most certainly like it has not been touched in forever, but the servers are still up. The game is still going. So this kind of proves you can just keep it going on like maintenance mode of like no updates, no nothing. So they're doing it. You know, it's happening. If you look on their forums, there's not been a developer post since like July of 2016. Not a single moderator/developer dev tracker post, and the game is still up.
Well, it might. So you think it's gonna survive as a zombie? But
It's possible. That's why Matt could be right on this one.
remember, Firefall is owned by a Chinese company, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas NCSoft which owns Carbine, which makes WildStar, is known for shutting down games that don't perform. So we're kind of basing it on the history of the publisher as well.
Actually, that's funny because I know a lot of people that played City of Heroes are really mad about it because WildStar is still alive, whereas City of Heroes was doing better and it died.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. So who knows? Maybe they'll keep this one. Keep it alive. You know, they don't want to call it quits yet.
Well, I think one of the things is like Carbine is an actual subsidiary of NCSoft, so that might have something to do with why it's still alive.
Makes sense.
But let's move to some brighter news. All right.
Brighter news is good. We've been very pessimistic right now, so let's cheer it
I'm gonna
up.
make a prediction on what is going to be the biggest MMORPG launch of the year, and it's going to be, in my humble opinion, Nostalrius Fresh Start server.
The biggest.
Elysium Nostalrius comeback server.
I don't think that counts. They can make no money off of that.
Well, biggest by player count, I'll say then.
So I know.
I am pumped.
Yeah,
Comes out Saturday. I've eviscerated all my plans for the day. I'm gonna sit there. I'm gonna hopefully get in the server, and I'm gonna grind up with some buddies. And I'm really looking forward to it. To kind of add to your point there, Erhan. Currently, there are almost 9,300 people online in the Elysium Discord. It's worth noting that the Nostalrius PvP and PvE server have been online, but a lot of people have been waiting for these fresh start servers, myself included. It's pretty fun when no one's max level and you're all starting off together. It's also extremely hard to kill a single boar, so we'll see how that works out. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And I bet you're right, because there's just so many people waiting.
How many players on that Discord anyway? Because I know you're on that Elysium Discord.
9,300.
That's insane.
I've seen it go as high as 13,000.
That's absolutely nuts.
Online.
Yeah.
Online.
Holy crap.
That's the crazy part.
I think it's fair to say that's probably going to be the biggest MMORPG. Is it still fair to call it an MMORPG launch? It is a relaunch of a vanilla server.
Well, keep in mind the servers they're online already, right?
Yeah.
So there's already 2 servers online. This is just a fresh start server. And I imagine it's gonna be a very big. There's gonna be a big rush to get in there.
And
actually,
so. Yeah.
I think it's gonna be the biggest launch of the year in terms of player base. We will be doing a first look, or what is it called, Friday grind day, for the PV for vanilla.
Next
WoW.
Friday.
Yep, next Friday.
I don't know. I really think I think we need to talk about that because there were server queues for the Nostalrius servers and people couldn't get in because there were 2,000 people ahead of them. So we may need to figure out where the population's at.
All right.
when we get there.
If capable. That's fair.
It might be like Archage and lose a spot because we can't log in.
Also, I mean, speaking of positive news too, I mean, you know, we were saying MMORPGs potentially being dead. I still say they're not dead, but we have another big Chinese game launching here in the West.
What could that be?
What could that be? It's a game that Gumby, I think you did a video for. If you want to take it.
Oh, I did. Moonlight Blade.
Yep.
I did do a video for Moonlight Blade ages ago. Moonlight Blade is a beautiful looking wuxia MMORPG that I struggled to understand because it was all in Chinese. But it's very focused on, I want to say, almost like a Blade and Soul combat style, wherein the movements are kind of slow in line with, I should say, a Street Fighter or whatnot. Very pretty game. I hope to see. Now, when we saw this was a video that was in Chinese, right? There's no press release or anything from any company or publisher, right?
Right. I had a friend go back over it though, and he said that basically it's a whole lot of nothing. They have like little details, and they mention that there's going to be a Western release, but there are no details at all. Other than that, there are like small details about like updates that are coming to the game over the next year. But interesting thing, in going with the whole wuxia theme of it, they talked in poem for the entire video.
Wow. What the hell?
All right, well, good for them. I'm glad they're keeping it thematic. That's nice.
Also, I mean, this might be like a mini hype me up. I've been looking at what people have been saying about Moonlight Blade. The game launched, I think, back in July in China. So, and obviously there's no release date in the West yet, so it might not come out this year. Or if it does come out this year, probably late this year. But one of the interesting things I've seen about the game, based on what people have been playing on the Chinese version, is that it's actually going to have that there's been no pay-to-win stuff, meaning that everything in the game's cash up has been vanity items, purely cosmetic items. So on the Chinese version, they've gone almost that Terra route of only selling cosmetics, which is surprising because a lot of the more ridiculous pay-to-win stuff from what we've seen has been from Chinese browser games, not necessarily client games. So it's good to see that they kind of want to, even in their home market, they're sticking with the cosmetics only. So I mean, that alone, I feel like could get a lot of people hyped up for this game. I think a lot of people probably unfairly write off a lot of foreign games as being pay to win if it's Korean or Chinese. So hopefully, maybe this might help alleviate that stereotype if they continue with that model.
Also, apparently, it has housing. That's pretty big for me.
Housing, I think, is big. Even if it's not done perfectly, I still think it's good. I know I made fun of the housing in what was that new X-Legend game, Twin Saga, right? But even that is better than nothing because it gives you something to work towards, and that's like one of the most important things in an MMORPG for me is to have something to work towards. Without that, I feel like what's the point of playing if I'm not making progress towards something that I want?
So maybe I'm the culturally ignorant one here, but what exactly does wushu like? What does that mean? Like what does that do with poetry? Like you guys were mentioning something about the genre or whatever. What is it? What is that all about?
As far as I know, it's basically a genre of literature, or maybe fable is better to put it, that deals with martial arts, magic, kind of like the tales of knights in Western literature.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right.
basically they're historical lit.
Flying on swords is a thing, all right? Flying on swords. All right, we've seen that in Dream of Mirror Online and a bunch of other Chinese games. Chinese like flying on swords, and they love wings. And actually, I think Matt had an insight about why Chinese.
I don't buy
love
this,
wings.
but
you don't buy it. All right, Matt.
Flying on swords is amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, what I was told by somebody I know is that Chinese games have wings because most of their gods, like most of their gods, are depicted in like golden armor or robes or something. So, and demons are the ones that have wings. So, but they're not like angelic wings. So basically, with all the settings that they've had that are based on like Chinese gods, they're more interesting, like having like wings and stuff, and it makes you feel godly in a way that's from a different culture, because apparently they have a fascination with like Western culture the way we have a fascination with like Japanese and Chinese culture. Mm-hmm. So
but
yeah, that's
what
basically
do we have that has wings? Angels, I guess.
Angels, yeah.
Angels are
it makes you feel godly.
All right.
That's basically it.
But okay, I mean, I don't really see a lot of wings in Western culture personally, but maybe it's just so common that I just don't see them because it's not a thing. It's not like doesn't stand out, so I don't notice it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's apparently the same reason that they have a lot of golden armor in Chinese games is because of their gods. Their gods are depicted with golden armor and robes and stuff.
I thought because they were obsessed with money over in China. Gold is valuable. No,
it's true.
So yeah, but apparently it's that simple. Fascination with Western culture, and it's more unique than the traditional Chinese settings.
Plus, I feel like almost in like Asian games, we see like angels more in like Chinese games than Western games, right? It's even like angels online, like angels, wings, and stuff like and angelic features are almost always in Chinese games pretty often.
I guess. Actually, what my biggest notice in these kind of Asian games and Asian MMORPGs is how much more quote realistic they are than fantasy setting. So, for example, like I'm watching this video of Gumball playing Moonlight Blade here. He's fighting like these bandits and stuff, and I've noticed there are monsters right in these games, but it's mostly like just humanoids and bears and wolves. You don't see goblins and orcs and ogres as frequently. You know, like for example, when I'm watching this video, right? This could be like a historic game, right? There's nothing unhistoric about this right now. You know, in this scene, besides them jumping like crazy, I guess.
This looks beautiful though. Like, look at the background. You can see it too. Like, it gives very Revelation vibe too from the draw distance and the massive open areas.
I think this looks better than Revelation Online. I haven't played.
I think so too. Yeah, I think
it looks
a
so
lot
much
better.
smoother. That's the first thing.
I don't think they're comparable. And this was released a while ago. I mean, this video is from October 2015. I mean, I guess if a year isn't a while for you guys, but...
So I'm looking at some of the other features in the game. I mean, action combat, as you can clearly see. I mean, that's a big plus. There's gonna be they label it as a semi-sandbox open world. So I'm not sure what semi-sandbox necessarily means, but it's got one of those.
It's
4
got a
factions.
Semi-sandbox, I think they're talking about the PvP faction wars and stuff.
But yeah, I have hope for this game. I mean, it seems also like a higher budget title than Revelation, and it looks nice. Is this one being was this one by Tencent?
Tencent, yeah.
Yeah, and you have the biggest game developer in the world behind this game.
So I don't know if you guys mentioned it, but is this have any chance of coming out in the West? Is there an announced
Yeah.
publisher?
That was the beginning. Well,
Okay.
The only reason we bring it up is because there was a Chinese video, and they mentioned in passing in the Chinese video for the game that they're going to do a Western version.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Obviously, no word on a release date. If you want to play right now, you can still play. I think there's a guide on how to play Moonlight Blade on MMOs.com.
It has to be updated.
It has to be updated. It's a Chinese version, but keep in mind, there is no English patch for the game just yet. So, I mean, there hasn't been one since release, so don't expect one anytime soon.
Wow, Gumball, you powered through this without an English translation.
Yeah, it was pretty rough. In the beginning of the video, you see me struggle just to enter the game, because you know how, like, the enter button's on the right, not the left. So I exited out of my
That's
character
actually
creator.
not always true. There's a fun dance every time I pull up a foreign game of is it on the left or
Oh,
the right?
really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Well, I guess wrong. I chose wrong, just like in Indiana Jones. So I goofed and had to start over.
All right, guys. We mentioned Revelation Online. We got to sneak this in. I think this is the
Yes.
most fun news of the week. I thought this was pretty interesting.
Oh, okay.
Sean,
go ahead.
I want your take on this quality animation as well. Definitely put the animation on the stream. But Revelation Online is getting an animated movie in 2017.
Oh boy.
What?
Can we all watch it together? Just
Let's
so we
enjoy it together. Everyone just enjoy it.
I want to see the pristine, crisp animation.
All right, well, I've already
Yeah,
played
the
the video,
studio.
baby. We're at 15.
I'm watching. I'm watching.
I'm watching.
And we can comment as it goes on.
All right, there's an evil dragon, I guess.
Sparkly key.
Well, mine is not loading. Oh, there we go.
This looks awful. There's my commentary. Done.
There's a flying whale or a narwhal. I'm not really sure what that is.
That's in the game. You actually see
Right.
it flying over in the area that we went to, that one dungeon, the tower one.
What's going on here?
Have you guys? Has everyone here played it?
Yeah. I mean,
So
I don't know about you.
I have not played it.
Is this
you have not played.
is this using like in-game graphics pretty much?
That's what I wanted to say. That the in-game cinematics, they look the same as far as I remember, and it hasn't been that long.
Well, it's a little different. It's the actual cinematics, like not the ones that are just
That's
in
what I meant.
real
Yeah,
time.
you're right.
Yeah, the actual
The actual
cinematics.
cinematics, yes.
I think Matt described the graphics and the animation quality in this game best. So have at it, Matt.
It looks like, you know, the old PS2 games, the cinematics they had. It looks like that.
It
Exactly
looks,
like that.
it looks just like it.
Does.
It looks exactly like those old like PS2 cutscenes. But like I don't know, we see like animated movies in the theaters here, you know, Pixar, Disney, DreamWorks and stuff, and like it just seems like crisp, smooth, and beautiful, like and magical. Even if they're kids movies, like, you can appreciate the animation. But when I saw that trailer, I'm like, this is like the jankiest thing ever. Like, what is this? Like, it just seems so silly that they're gonna make a movie on this.
All right, here's the consoling fact. It cannot be worse than Final Fantasy Advent Children.
Oh,
All right, so
Hold on.
So it can't
Advent
be
Children wasn't as bad as the previous movie that I forgot.
Yeah,
Wasn't
that
it?
one, the Spirits Within.
The Spirits Within was the worst one. All right, I think Advent Children was better, much better.
Advent Children had some badass fight scenes. The
Yes.
choreography was pretty good.
Yeah, the fight scenes were like, yeah, that was it. I don't think it was a great movie, but at least you could appreciate the action. Like it had something, you know, a little something.
Oh my, I don't know, man. They both made me cringe.
Advent Children made me cringe.
No, you mean
Other one,
you mean Shards
eh.
Within.
Shards with yeah.
So you mixed them
Spirits
up.
Within,
You just
Spirits.
mixed them up. That's not
I
bad.
mixed them up. Yeah, I forgot the name of the first one anyway. So it was that the first one was so unmemorable I couldn't even think of it. Spirits Within. Oh my god, I was so hyped for that movie too. It was like the biggest disappointment because, like, I was probably the most in love with Final Fantasy at that point than I ever was. And from then it's been downhill. You know, I still enjoy the series, but that was like the peak.
Dude, I mean, here's a rule of thumb: if it's a video game movie, it sucks.
Has anyone seen the Assassin's Creed movie?
Oh, yeah, it's out now.
Thumbs up, thumbs down. If anyone saw it, I didn't see it
I
yet.
haven't seen it.
I didn't see it.
You saw
Oh,
it?
shoot.
Combo?
No, but I already know what it is.
Oh my. Well, yeah. You're using my rule of thumb. If it's a video
rule
game
of thumb.
movie,
Can you guess the? I mean, I don't think you should ever judge a movie solely based on Rotten Tomatoes. But would you like to guess the score, the percentage score? Just throw out a number, whatever number jumps to mind.
28.
25.
Okay. Anyone else?
Shoot. Alright,
All right. She's not there.
Sorry.
Any number.
I don't know because I don't really know enough about
Doesn't matter. Just pick a number, 1 through 100. Done.
Assassin's Creed. 50.
17%.
Oh shit!
Wow.
I thought I was being harsh.
That's pretty rough. I gotta say. That's.
I've heard it was terrible.
Look,
I like the guy that's in it too. What's his name?
Michael Fassbender.
Michael
right?
Fassbender. I like him. Yeah. Oh well.
the trailer. I think the trailer looked kind of mad, but I didn't think it'd be like a 17% bad. You know, a 17% low.
See, I think it
part-
would have been better. I think their problem was trying to introduce a character that wasn't Desmond, that still like jacked into the Animus in the same way.
Mhm.
I think what they should have done is like Assassin's Creed 4, they should have done some sort of like the main character's working at Abstergo kind of thing.
Mhm.
And like going back through these things. I don't know. I just didn't like the way they did it. And I'm pretty sure that that's not the only problem it has. I haven't seen it, but like immediately I was like, okay, you're introducing a new character that you're pulling out of like their history, like their family history, because that's what they do. They go back through their lineage. So you're introducing a new character in a new lineage, and that just doesn't kind of like sit right with me.
I guess
That's fair.
they wanted to divide. They didn't want the movie to have anything to do with the story in the games. I guess then.
But like,
Which
what's the
is
point of
dumb.
making? Yeah, what's the point of making a video game movie if you're not going to live up to
Well,
the video
they don't
game?
want to
wait.
pollute their actual moneymaker franchise. Like,
But they could have made a good movie. Like,
No,
I
they
think
couldn't.
it's conceivable to have a good
Whoa,
video
whoa,
game
whoa.
movie.
nope.
It all began with the Super Mario Brothers movie, and it's
That
never
was a good
stopped.
movie. I
Okay.
maintain that was a good. That was hilarious. Hilariously
Like,
bad, but it was hilarious.
The issue with these like game movies is that they don't really follow anything close to the game. It's just like some semblance of like the characters, and then thrown into some weird situation that has nothing to do with like.
But
the
why
actual
make
game.
it then?
The Silent Hill movie, oh my god.
I mean,
that
I
was terrible.
don't, I don't agree with it. I'm just saying that's kind of what like game movies are, right? They just take the characters and the general concept and just make up some shit. It has nothing to do with the actual game.
Don't they have like a
They're two
million
different
Resident Evil
mediums.
movies?
There's 6 or 7. We talked about this the other day.
6.
Yeah, they really, and they're all. I mean, they get progressively worse. they're pretty awful. They're
And
a good laugh.
possibly the worst choice was they're all action movies.
Oh yeah, Warcraft was okay. That was my. That was
Yeah.
okay.
And also, it's an MMORPG movie. You know, it fits the theme of the
Wow.
podcast pretty well.
And
And I think of the video game movies, I think the Warcraft movie was probably my favorite. It was fun. I mean, obviously, it had enormous issues with the movie and like stuff that nagged me. Mostly some of the acting, but whatever. You know, I still kind of enjoyed it.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I have no interest in watching Assassin's Creed. Now, here's the question. Here's a prediction. Will it bomb
Go
the
ahead.
box office? I mean, it's already been out for a few days. It has not made back its budget yet.
All right, how much did it cost to make that movie anyway?
125 million. That's
Oh, all that money burnt.
See this
More
sad
than
thing
some of
that-
the games, I'm
the
sure.
sad thing about
Most
this
games,
though
yeah.
is that like it like makes people not want to make movies of it, and like it's
Of
all
games.
Good.
all
Please.
these people that
Well, they
all these
shouldn't.
people that don't understand gaming trying to make like, oh man, that's really popular, you know, with like PewDiePie and shit or whatever. Let's make a movie about that, and then it's like they don't understand it and what makes people like it, right? And then they just make some shit up, and then now people don't want to make, you know, real gaming movies. So
All right. Well,
And I don't want them to.
There was one good video
What?
game movie of 2016.
oh,
Really?
Yeah, the Angry Birds movie.
Come on. Wait, was that this year too?
It was 2016, right?
No.
Was it actually good?
I don't
Like,
know. I never
Are,
watched it.
are you trolling?
I never
trolling.
watched it. I have no interest in watching it.
It wasn't good.
It got a 6.3 on IMDb. I mean, I've seen worse.
It was an okay.
Was it okay?
I think.
All right.
I think it's an okay. Good for kids, right? If you're a kid,
Yeah.
whatever.
All right. Speaking of possible commercial successes, guys,
Oh, good.
I think
Let's
this is
hear
the
it.
most interesting data set we've seen this week, and it's the top 100 best sellers of 2016. The top games is measured by gross revenue this year. It's not in order. You have like various rankings for platinum, gold, and silver and bronze. So you can
So
you
let's
look at
take
some of
it,
the games that made this list.
yeah, let's take it one category at a time. So first, let's talk about the platinum games. These are the top. Looks like 12 grossers, and again, they're not in any order because every time I refresh this page, the order is different, but they're still in the same category, like platinum or gold. So of the platinum games, my biggest shock, which maybe it shouldn't have been, is No Man's Sky. I mean, this got so much hate when it came out, and yet it is one of the best performing games of the year for PC.
It was mega successful, even though like they don't deserve it. You know, it was mega successful.
So the
Hey,
takeaway
the
is
market
lie to
has
your
spoken.
audience and release.
The market has spoken.
Yeah.
I hate that phrase.
Well, considering this is only Steam's charts, I'm sure they deducted refunds and all that.
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
Guys, quick question about No Man's Sky. If you click on it, I actually went to the page by default too. There's no user review.
I was going to say that, but I was waiting to speak up. I also clicked it and I see there's no reviews.
Maybe
Did they
disabled
get
Must
them?
be
removed?
broken.
Oh, maybe they're down. Do other games have?
Yeah,
Steam community could be down. Yeah.
Check other games. If other games
I'm
also
checking right
don't
now.
have reviews, it's just the Steam community.
Yeah, Steam community is just down right now. That's it. But the only free-to-play game that made on the list that again we kind of cover on MMOs.com is Dota 2. Should be really
That's
no surprise.
no surprise, yeah.
Yeah, it's after CS:GO and it's one of the most popular games on the platform. I mean, we don't really see too many MMOs at all. Nothing really on
Rocket
Platinum.
League. We played
Oh yeah,
Rocket
I
League.
wanted to say, look at that Rocket League, and Rocket League is still one of my favorite recent releases. I really love Rocket League. I can't
You could
express that.
sort of count Grand Theft Auto Online, but Grand Theft Auto 5's in there, so who knows?
Okay.
And the Division.
All right. And CS:GO. Basically
Yeah.
everything here is an MMO.
And The Witcher is a,
You know,
is a
The Witcher
single
is
player
right,
MMO.
oh,
It's a
yeah.
single player MMO, right? You know.
And Dark Souls, they have passive interactions and some brutal 1v1 PvP. Oh, lots of MMOs up here.
All right, I think we see some real, like an actual MMO.
All right, go down.
A more traditional.
Go.
Well,
More
GTA
traditional.
Online is an actual MMO.
All right.
Is it though?
Yeah, so
Yes.
is The Division.
Okay.
Oh, the Division. Yeah, we have that covered. Okay, so let's go down the gold here. What do we got? What do we got in the gold
Ooh.
category?
We have
Finest category.
Warframe. Warframe is the big one there, I
And
think.
Ark is there too.
Yeah.
But
Ark is
look-
huge.
The Warframe is again probably the biggest Western free-to-play success story in the last like few years. Like obviously League is way older, Dota's way older, but Warframe blew it out of the park. It's consistently rocked Steam charts. It's got probably over 40,000 players online right now, and it's always in the it's done amazing for them to the point where Perfect World is trying to kind of make a co-op game kind of like it because it's making so much money. There's
I've
about
never played it. Have you guys played it?
Yeah.
I
I like
barely
it.
played it, but I know
I've heard
people
a
on
lot
our
of good
Discord that love it.
but
Sure, why don't we play it one night together? Because I kind of want to play it again to give it a real
sure.
real shake.
I'm
Also
down
want-
because I've never played it, so I can give a legitimate reaction. You know.
Mhm.
I also want to note that, like, despite all the drama with H1Z1, King of the Kill is up there. Like, look at that.
Infestation is a
It's-
better game.
I doubt that. And I'm also happy, just outside MMOs, that Tomb Raider series is still doing well because the reboot is like really good.
really, I have not played it, so maybe I'll pick it up when it's for sale.
If you're gonna play the reboot, play the PS4 version. And I say that because they remastered some of the graphics, but they never did it for PC.
Oh, okay. All right, it's fair.
I'm looking at actually King of the Kill now because you mentioned it, Matt. It's doing remarkably well. You know, with all the flags from H1. H1Z1 had some flack earlier, but it's got 30,000 players online right now. It's huge. It's one of the most played games on Steam right now. Absolutely rocking it.
But to clarify, Rise of the Tomb Raider is the same on all platforms. I mean, the original one. Get the definitive edition for PS4. Yeah.
All right. Next up, Silver. We got Smite. Another MOBA makes the list.
The MMORPG, an MMORPG. Right? Elder Scrolls Online makes the list too.
Oh, nice. Which is what we will be playing for Friday, Grind Day.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys start a new thing while I was gone?
Yes.
Yeah. Friday Grind Day became a thing.
God. So what? Retro? Was it Retro Thursdays?
No, we stopped doing that one.
What else? We got War Thunder here, free to play. So we're seeing more free to play as we scroll down here.
Mm-hmm.
Rust is there, which is, I know, popular among the MMOs crew. Sans me.
Gumby and
Ark
me.
is winning.
Ark is winning. Ark is fair. Yeah, Ark is much bigger game. I don't know. I couldn't get into Ark. I was more of a Rust kind of guy.
I think what's surprising is that Payday 2 is still doing well.
Yeah, that's true. I think there's a dearth of co-op.
Payday 2 pulled like a PR maneuver, right? They were public enemy number one day, and then like in a week, everybody loves them again. Like they did some fancy footwork because everyone started hating them for I forgot what they did again, but I think maybe they changed like owners to the studio. And everyone forgave them and they loved them. Like they pulled like some amazing PR maneuvers.
Yeah. Have you guys played Payday 2? I played it. It's fun. Yeah. It's something you can play with the group. It's like Left 4 Dead with modern times, I think. What else? Let's scroll down to Bronze now.
We have a lot of MMORPGs in Bronze to cover.
Yes, this is where MMOs actually kick in. For the Path of Exiles there, well deserved. Your Gamer, Final Fantasy 14.
There's a whole bunch of MMORPGs on here. I saw Dragon's Dogma for a second. Wait a minute, is that Dragon's Dogma Online? It's like, nope.
Here's my shocker of the year.
Japan only.
Shocker of the year, not just in this category, but overall. Night Online is one of the top 100 grossing games on Steam.
That's impressive.
You gotta give it to them. There are lots of free-to-play MMORPGs kind of coming back to Steam now, but this is the big shock. This is the only real old MMORPG that kind of still is pulling in the big bucks in Steam. It's crazy.
Was that like the one that you showed me before, Omer?
Yeah, I've shown
it
to you. It was so busy when I showed it to you too.
It was. It really was. Wasn't that the one that was like a market and it was just filled with people? Holy shit, dude.
And it's got those player stalls. So when you go to the market, you go to the main city, it's just packed of players. So
my God.
Let's see how many people are online right now. I think it's like 3,000 still. But when it first launched on Steam, the number was through the roof. But they're still getting over 3,000. They peaked at 24K.
So is there just like some appeal behind the, I guess, low-end graphics games, or
just nostalgia, honestly?
All right, I'm gonna blow your guys' minds.
I'm ready to be. All right.
On that list, Astroneer, one of the top 100 revenue games of the year, came out on December 16th.
Of this year?
Of last year. So
last year.
So they made all that. They got in top 100 in the last 15 days of the year.
Wow. Holy crap.
And I'm pretty sure it's an indie game.
They're kind of they're trying to be the rehabilitated version of No Man's Sky, like that's their spiel.
Smart.
Yeah.
Because there was so much outrage over No Man's Sky, they can harness that and like monetize it.
Well, they're not trying to be No Man's Sky. It's just they've kind of made something that's No Man's Sky.
Mm-hmm. The Calling's on this list too. I know Shrew and I used to play that for fun for a while, but I don't know. I feel like it kind of dropped off. It was super popular when it launched. Yeah, it's dead.
Those kind of games don't have longevity. How many times can you play The Calling before it's,
I had fun with The Calling. All right, I got my money's worth out of it. I had fun.
Right.
Why don't we play The Calling? What happened?
The game is people
it's
are
boring. Oh my god, it's the same thing every time. The map is small.
Fun.
There's only one map, right?
I mean, they updated a lot though, didn't they? I haven't checked it out since, but I remember like back then I was playing it like the entire day, pretty much.
All right. I mean, we'd be amiss if we didn't mention Tree of Savior on that list too. I mean, Tree of Savior made, I believe, the bronze as well, and that shouldn't be too surprising considering how much hype was behind the game. And all that hype, though, it led up to some pretty big disappointment because of all that hype. But it did make the list. It probably made a good chunk of change, and they're actually trying to fix some of the issues with the game. I mean, obviously, I feel like this is one of those situations where they should have waited to launch so they had more content and they didn't have all the server stability problems. I mean, just a quick recap. It got so bad with Trio of Savior that they just disabled registrations for the game, period. Like, you can't even join the game if you never had it for like over a week, like 2 weeks at a time. It was absurd how bad they planned it out. But on the positive end, they actually are working to rebalance some of the classes. I know, Shu, you played the game probably the most out of us.
Yeah.
And I feel like the classes, like how imbalanced, like, were there a lot of classes that were just like outright unplayable if you just fucked up and you like leveled the wrong classes?
There were some, but I think just the major issue was just that the game was just not that fun, to be honest. It was like the only thing keeping you going was like looking forward to like, oh man, I can't wait to be like that big dick, like whatever, class 7 or whatever, right? But like, it's like the game, like the pacing felt really bad, and it was just kind of boring. Like, you just like walked around grinding, and like the systems were like just not really that great, to be honest.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
More specifically, Shu, what about the job system? Because I know it kind of, it was obviously inspired by Ragnarok, but like the job system was different, whereas in Ragnarok, in a lot of games, you get a certain job advancement, you're there. You had the whole multi-tiered, like you put 2 points to one job, then you get another job. Like,
yeah, you could multi-class really hard in that game.
But did you have the same kind of like motivation to get the next job when it was like almost like incremental improvement? Whereas when you get a full job in Ragnarok, it feels like a big deal. Was that maybe one of the?
Well,
curious what you think about that.
I think it was okay because a lot when you did up into a new job, you did have access to higher ranks as well as new abilities. So even within the same job, like say you went from, the Cryomancer 1 to 2, you still got new abilities, right? On top of being able to level up your things higher, so you could be a specialist in that thing, and I think that's interesting.
From what I read about the people, and people told me in game, like, oh, you can't put 2 points to like Highlander. That's just a disaster. You do that, your character's ruined. You got to.
People do that in every game. People do that in every game. Like,
yeah.
It's I feel like you should be able to play. I mean, people played Battle Priests in Ragnarok, and it was fun, right? Like it's not optimal to play a Battle Priest, but like people did it, and it was fun to do, and people should be allowed to do that. But I think in the end, I mean, I don't think that was the true issue. But I mean, and then again, there could be an issue with like new players, right? Who like they're not knowingly going into that. They're not like me. They're like, I'm gonna go in and play something unique. They just want to play like what's optimal, and then now you're fucked. And have fun with that. But I don't know. It's difficult to do a system like that, correct? Because if you allow people to reset, they're just gonna pick the optimal leveling build and then reset later. So you're gonna have like everyone is the same class as your level. So and there's some premium to leveling up as a difficult class, in the end. But yeah, could have been better. It was my big disappointment of last year, I'd say. My biggest.
Yeah. What level did you get to anyway, Shu? You played a decent chunk.
Oh shit! I don't even remember. It's pretty high though. But the game was just unplayable. It was unplayable,
Shu's review on Steam: unplayable, 1,000 hours in. All right.
Yeah, I mean,
it's one of those kind of reviews.
But it's like the type of thing. I mean, it's the type of thing that you really want to play. Like, I really wanted to play it, and like I couldn't do dungeons because like it was like so messed up. And then it just like in the end, like I realized like I'm not really having fun with this. Like, what am I doing? So I stopped. I have to say it was my second biggest disappointment. I'll say second, not first, of last year.
What was number one? Pokemon Go?
Pokemon Go, yeah.
Oh, I figured.
I spent $200 on Pokemon Go.
I spent 100. No, I spent 20. I spent 100.
I spent 100.
Yo, I'm still playing that, alright? I don't know about you guys. I'm eagerly awaiting Gen 2.
Yeah?
Nothing's gonna change. That game has no content.
I'm playing the real Pokemon.
Before we get off Tree of Savior, they are doing some balance changes to all the classes to fix some of those disparity problems and issues of balance between the classes. Because, again, as you said, you can level up each class multiple times or advance to another job and level those up. You had a lot of paths, and they advertise like a crazy combination of jobs, and it all works great, but some of them end up being very suboptimal. So they're hoping to tweak those changes.
I think the thing that's kind of discouraging, though, about the whole thing is, like, they have all these issues, and they're like, oh, we're going to make a mobile one now. That's, like, completely different from the other one. And
I'm excited for the mobile one. I'm excited
about it, too, but at the same time, it's kind of like fuck you at the same time, right? Like, if you've been playing it, they're like, yeah, we're gonna put more resources into that when we haven't fixed everything yet. And
That's true.
I don't know. It seems like a grab. I mean, I see why they did it business wise, but I feel like it's the
You know,
big middle finger.
they
for
gotta get on
players.
mobile. Sure, they gotta get on mobile, and the game looks
Yeah.
awesome on mobile. Honestly, I actually really want to play that game on mobile.
I mean, hopefully it goes well. Like, despite me being like
Salty.
salty, I want the games to get better. I want Pokemon Go to get better so I can play it. I want True Savior to get better so I can play it. I don't really care about WildStar, but
Wow.
for most games, I'm gonna say 99% of games, I'm really hoping they do well.
All right. Fair.
Here's an odd thought.
Oh, good.
If Pokemon Go still has any fire left behind it when they finally release Gen 2 and stuff, right?
Huh?
It actually has the potential to be the highest grossing single Pokemon game. Because it's mobile, right? And mobile's so big.
It's also the only one that lets you microtransact.
Exactly. It's the only one where you can spend infinite amounts of money.
Yeah.
They've already made like over $700 million. So
Yeah.
how much more do they need to be able to get to become the single biggest grossing Pokemon game? Probably like not a crazy amount.
No, they sell pretty well. I don't know the exact numbers, but
Yeah.
they do sell pretty well. So it's not there yet, I wouldn't say. Like, for example, Pokemon Red, Green, Blue, Yellow, the original series basically, sold almost 50 million copies.
Holy crap.
So 50 million times, let's say 30, right? Is what number? It's a number. 1.5
It's a
billion?
number.
1.5 billion?
All right.
So we're not there yet with Pokemon Go.
If it launches a big update, yeah, like you said, it could happen.
Food for thought.
Pokemon.
Hey, I got a question. So I had a debate with Omer, all right? And I want to know everyone else's opinion on it. Do you think that a game can be an MMO but have a single player mode?
Yes,
No.
Yeah.
I say
Yeah.
no.
really. So if Overwatch adds a campaign, you gotta take it off the site?
No. If what you do in single player carries over to multiplayer, if it's a separate experience, yeah.
I mean,
You're literally describing Elite.
No. Imagine like if I could play single player Diablo and then play online and carry over my single player stuff, I don't know.
you could in the open server.
You're literally describing Elite Dangerous.
Is Elite Dangerous considered MMO?
I mean, we have it on the
Yes.
site, baby.
I don't know.
This
You
came because I
go
was
through
talking
the
about.
world,
Yeah,
and
it is,
it
yeah. I never played Elite
automatically
Dangerous.
instances you out in terms of like a bunch of people around you. Like there are a bunch of people in the world, and it instances a certain amount of them out.
It is an MMO, yeah.
Let me add some context though. We were discussing if Pokemon is an MMO or not, because Pokemon has matchmaking and ranked and stuff like that.
It's as much an MMO
And
as like
co-op.
Dota or League, like, right? Is matchmaking.
I
I'd
don't
say
think so.
Pokemon. I'd say Pokemon's only the only thing that's keeping Pokemon from being an MMO nowadays is the fact that you don't have to be online. Like you have to be online to use certain features, but I'd say that the fact that you don't have to be online is literally the only thing keeping it from being an MMO.
But then it goes against the argument that
Oh, you can have single player that requires online action.
single player that
No, that's not true. Super Mario Run, for example, you have to be always online, even though it's single player.
I don't know. I just feel I can't clarify. I can't say Pokemon is a MMO.
Well,
Oh,
you're
if
talking to
you're
people.
only-
You're talking to people who say chess is an MMO. So
Yeah, you're nuts. That's why.
What?
Gumby and Airhunt think chess is an MMO.
no, only online chess, like PC chess, like you
Yeah,
play online.
lobby based online chess is not
I
an
mean,
MMO.
you got a ranking. You got MMR, literally, like Elo. It's
Okay.
literally you got Elo. Okay, you got
not
matchmaking.
MMO.
You got different classes, right? You got the pawns, the bishops.
They're not classes. There's a
You have
piece on the board.
unlocks. You can use different
bad
boards. You
I've
can
ever
use
heard
different
one.
boards. You know, like the maps change.
Yeah,
you know,
real cosmetic changes
red
there.
tiles, blue tiles. You got a
No,
username.
I think you should read the MMOs.com definition of what defines an MMO. There's more to it than if just an online game with multiplayer. If you multiplayer is your only cutoff, and
No,
at least
no.
one semblance of
Hold
like
up.
persistence.
Do you
What?
miss what I'm saying? You got classes.
They're not classes.
You got different maps.
I think you're really stretching this definition of MMO because it's most
Right.
certainly not an MMO.
All right. Well, Omer, I would say that Pokemon is very close to being an MMO. I mean, you have Wonder Trade, which connects you with literally random people. You have matchmaking. You have all sorts of other shit. It's very close to being an MMO.
Yeah, Someone made a good point in chat. Shroud of the Avatar is something similar to Elite Dangerous, where you do have single player instances and multiplayer instances in the same kind of spiel universe. So yeah, I can see slowly going in that direction.
It feels wrong. It doesn't feel right.
There are a lot of things you think feel wrong that just. I think you're overthinking it.
You sound
Maybe.
you sound like a priest there, Matt.
Well, guys, talk about quality MOBAs. All right, we gotta go to my favorite MOBA this week. All right, we got some big news for Heroes Evolved, a game which I could not convince you guys to play with me too often. I mean, I played this game more than I care to admit. I played I got at least 10 hours clocked in, boys, on Heroes Evolved, and it's a duker of a game, but
Had a
They make
bad
a mobile
first
version.
experience.
so she played with me, and she couldn't get into it because she picked a shitty hero.
How? I mean, the thing is like Joan of Arc. I mean, why is she shitty?
Okay, so she
should be
picks a
awesome.
character, Joan of Arc. She's she has a shield and a hammer, right? And it looks like a warrior character, right? But get this, it's ranged. So it's a character in plate armor, plate mail armor, with a shield and a hammer. And her attack is ranged.
No.
No
So
sense.
her attack is ranged. So her auto attack is ranged, but she has a lot of close range AOE, which doesn't make sense because she's kind of squishy. I was so confused.
But anyway, this is my I say it's my favorite MOBA because it's my favorite pay to win MOBA. It is the most pay to win MOBA of I guess of ever. I've never seen a MOBA that's more pay to win than this. It's a game where if you die, you can pay to instantly resurrect.
Have you
And
lost the game to the pay to win yet?
I've seen people pay to win, and I've lost 2 games overall. So I'm sure I might have lost one of them. I remember I was playing with my friend, and he's laning with an opponent, and the opponent just suddenly starts shopping in lane. You can buy items in lane if you pay money. You can't do that with in-game currency. The only way to shop in lane is to spend real money.
How do
If you
people play? I don't understand. Why play this when League of Legends is free? I don't get
People
it.
play it, Shio. People are out there.
But what's the drive?
So
I'm
if
curious.
you die, sure. If you die in League of Legends, you can't pay the res. All right. In this game, if you die, you can pay the res.
I mean, I think we played this once as a group, and honestly, I didn't have any worse a time in this than I did in League.
What?
I'm just
on.
saying.
That's your casual, if you look at any game very briefly and overlook the fact that you can just pay to win. Imagine in this game, if you just pay $100, it just ends the game, you win, right? Imagine that was a feature. Yeah, your experience, if nobody paid the $100, would be it's okay, right? But it's obviously a worse game because of that. Because your games will not be balanced in the future.
But okay, here's the thing. A lot of people play games. In fact, the vast majority play games casually, right? Not to compete. So
Okay.
the fact that this is pay to win, a part of my brain automatically says you can relax. Whether you win or lose doesn't matter because it's casual. No one takes it seriously. We didn't take it seriously. Whereas if I play games like League or Dota or Counter-Strike with my friends, certain friends, I can't have fun. I have to be I gotta be serious. I gotta they're gonna be screaming at each other. It's gonna be a tension-filled atmosphere. Even if we're winning, you can always lose, right? So it's a different experience. You can actually just unwind with a game like this. And I think that's why you play it, by the
one
way.
of them is a cancerous experience that you don't want to really play too much.
This is coming from someone who literally spent hours playing this, right?
Yeah, I did spend hours playing it.
And I think it's for the same reason, but maybe you weren't aware of it. With this game, you can unwind. You can turn off the serious mode, right, and just kind of relax. Whereas if you're playing League with people your level in League, you can never relax. You gotta just you gotta be in the zone. You're stressed. You got the adrenaline
I feel
rushing.
look, you can enjoy a game and recognize it's shitty. That's what that's my my spiel here. I recognize this game is shitty. I recognize War Mode. It's not it's not a great game, even though I enjoy it and I love it. All right, I recognize it's not a great game.
Hey, I actually have an argument for the pay to win game.
Okay,
alright?
go.
All right, go.
So you're really good at MOBAs, right? Am I right? Would
Yeah.
you say you're top? That's top 1%, 1% of players, right? How good does it feel when you play these games against rich people that are dukers and you just make them waste money and you're not even doing anything?
It feels really good, honestly.
Every time you see them buy, you're like, oh, take that to your wallet. Take that. It's like you're hitting them in real life, right?
Yes, actually, that's actually a good point, and that is actually a positive experience. When I'm laning and I see my opponent spent real money and buying to shop in lane, or if he spends real money to instantly resurrect, even if I lose that game at that point, and even if you use that that purchase to win. He literally paid to win. It makes me feel good that this asshole spent money on the internet. This
You beat him in real
this
life.
dumbass. I'm calling him a dumbass because I still played the same game he did, but he paid to win. So I guess that makes some sense. That
He lost in real life.
yeah, he lost. He won the game. He lost in real life, right? So it does feel good in a way. So maybe there is something to these pay to win games after all. Because it's very yeah, go ahead.
I think it's important to note that despite any issues any of us may have with this game, it's made enough money that they completely completely rewrote the entire client just to put it on mobile. Like, it's made from the ground up for mobile. And something I thought was funny, it's made, if I remember correctly, by NetDragon, who you guys may remember as the people that made that bizarre...
NetDragon, you're right, my bad.
They're the ones that made that bizarre Dungeon Keeper MMO. That's it. Same company.
But I mean, again, not just remake the game. It's worth mentioning. If you look at their this is amazing. If you go to their championship page, their grand prize final prize pool is $350,000. Like the real games don't get this kind of prize pool. Like massive
games.
Okay, okay. More traditional massive games that we all recognize as like giant games don't have prize pools of 350 grand. And here you have this game. Like, imagine they really capture that market of like people that feel pissed off in a game and they feel like they deserve to win, even if they don't. It gives them an avenue to like get that win, and they do it by spending money. You instantly resurrect. You can even fortify your buildings, like in Dota, where your buildings become invulnerable for like 5 seconds, and you can only do that if you pay real money, and it's on a per use basis too. So it's not like you unlock this feature by spending money. You have to pay on a per use basis. So when the enemy does it, like it feels right then they spent that money to do it. So they make enough money to get that 350,000 prize pool, and again, as Matt said, to remake the game on mobile. So it's just hilarious.
Maybe this tournament is actually going to make them money.
But you're right.
Because if the contestants can whip out their wallets while they're playing, they might end up spending more than the prize pool.
You're right. Oh my god! Can you imagine if the people that are taking part in this are like, all right, so what place am I in right now? I just hit 140. I just hit $177,699. If I spend another $1, it's automatically no longer worth it. Yeah. I know there are a bunch of people that are like, I'll just keep going until I hit the exact amount I would have won anyways.
Yeah.
I'm just like, that doesn't make any sense to me personally. But I can imagine that being what someone would do in one of these tournaments, and it just makes me laugh.
It's like a reverse auction where you can't win. But yeah, this game, they're doing a mobile version, and I think the only mobile MOBA that we've seen do really well is Vainglory, unless somebody has something different. Unless you call Clash Royale a MOBA, I don't know. But Vainglory is a traditional MOBA we've seen do pretty well on mobile. So this, I guess, aim to compete with it.
I do want to defend the game for a minute. From what I remember playing, I don't think it's fair to compare it to when you say shitty game and stuff on like Duke Game.
Yeah.
There are literally thousands of games on like Steam that are literally unplayable. Like they're buggy. You don't move. The movement is just off. At least this functions. Like I remember playing it. Like
it works. I
right-clicked, my character moved. I used a skill. The skill went off.
Let me rephrase. You're right. It's not the game itself works, right? I didn't mean it that way. I want to say the business model is offensive.
It can be offensive, but it doesn't mean the game is shit.
But if the business model is offensive, it does pollute the game. That's my view.
Well, we'll have to leave it there. Agree to disagree, as it were.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, I got a game that shut down this not this last week, but earlier, which we kind of forgot about. And somebody actually emailed me about this one, so tips to the guy who emailed me. I forgot who it was. Do you guys ever remember World of Speed? This was like a very beautiful looking racing game, racing MMO.
No, I don't remember.
It was by my.com. The guys, I guess they're focusing on Revelation now.
Did this come out, or was it to be out? I do remember seeing it on the website, but I didn't know it was actually out.
I believe there was a beta, and there was at one point people could play it, but it disappeared.
Yeah, there was a closed beta. It was very, 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 very limited, but it did happen.
So yeah, people did play it at least, but the game is no longer on my.com's homepage. So it looks like, and in fact, usually when a game, they actually said on their forums they're going to work on the game, possibly redevelop it, right? And thank you for all the support, right? But they literally froze the forums. You can't even post on the forums anymore. Literally everything about the game is frozen, and you can't even talk about the game anymore. So I think it's fair to say that the game is rest in pepperoni.
The company also made what's it called? Was it Project Cars? Something like that? So I mean, they've had another major game since then that they've worked on that was published by Bandai Namco. And I don't know if maybe the MMO just went out of scope for them in terms of a realistic timetable or what, but
it was Project Cars, by the way. You're right.
Yeah, they've had quite a bit going on, so I just I don't know that making a racing MMO was the greatest idea for them financially, and perhaps that's what happened with it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah,
I mean,
it looks to be done. Unfortunately, it looked beautiful though, didn't it? Like it looked like a really high quality free to play game.
Speaking of high quality games, something I want to mention in a broad sense is kind of a story we hear over and over again. We've heard it a lot in 2016. I imagine we're going to keep hearing it in 2017. And that's, we hear about a game like, say, Dark and Light, and it's going to come out on Steam. And then we find out, say, a month or a couple weeks later that, oh, we're also making a mobile game. And we've heard this with Bless. Blade and Soul Hongmoon Rising recently came out in China. It seems like every major IP is also getting a mobile companion. I wonder if it's just developers throwing everything they can at the wall and seeing what sticks. Like, how do we actually make a mobile game? And is this what's going to become the norm? Every time we hear about an MMORPG, we're going to end up with a companion mobile title?
Here's what I think, okay? So mobile games are making a lot of money right now. So what I think what's happening is these people are making like these major games that aren't exactly like the norm or something. And what they're doing is they're kind of like backing up their investments by having another game that will make potentially more money than the original game will. Like, especially with Dark and Light, they're putting out a buy-to-play, like, kind of survival MMO that's really experimental, especially in terms of the Chinese market. It's not a game that, like, I would have expected Snail Games to make in the first place, and it's very, very high quality. Like, we've seen graphics. I mean, it had to have cost them a fortune, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think what they're doing is they're putting out a mobile game that they know is a safe bet in order to kind of like as a safeguard
De-risk, yeah,
against what might happen. Especially since the mobile MMO is going to be different, I'm 90% sure what's going to happen is they're going to make a game based on that same engine that they've been using for not Age of Wushu Dynasty. They have another Age of Wushu MMO on mobile called Age of Wushu something 3D, and they have Lineage 2 Blood Alliance, which are basically on the same like engine, and they look very similar. So I think what they're going to do is make it with the same engine and just kind of have something that safeguards them in case Dark and Light ends up flopping.
I think somebody brought up a good point, like, and I think it's what a lot of us do think. Somebody in our chat said, "Why would they waste time and money on a mobile when they could actually be adding content to the main game? Maybe, like, isn't it better to double down on what you already have than potentially make another project? Even if it is still safer, but it just seems like they're diverting their resources."
I don't buy that, because I think the mobile game version could serve as kind of like a demo, if not, or some kind of marketing method towards a real game.
Also, I just want to bring as an added point, a bigger team doesn't necessarily mean you get the game done faster, right? When plenty of games are made in small teams and in record-breaking time, it just depends on who's in the seat.
It's also important.
It's not like a progress bar and you just pour money and it goes on. You know?
It's also important to note that if anything, these teams only share non-essential employees, like for each team. You know what I mean? Not non-essential in terms of the company, but like non-essential in terms of staying on that team all the time, because they're literally made in different engines. The PC game is made in Unreal Engine 4, and Snail Games' Flexi engine is being used for the mobile MMO, so there's absolutely no chance that they're sharing any kind of like programmers or anything between the games.
Yeah, that's fair.
Do you know, Matt, is the Dark and Light mobile game going to be like the rumored, quite sought after PC counterpart? Is it also going to be a survival sandbox game?
It's unclear. From what I could read, it's going to have action combat, some sort of animal husbandry, flying mounts, 40-person boss raids, but it's also going to have 2 factions. And even though it's going to have like sandbox elements, they didn't mention anything about building anything. Like, I don't think there are any sort of like building elements. I think it's going to be a lot different.
Remember when Dark and Light was supposed to release in 2016 and Snail Games said, "We promise," and then they didn't?
And then they announced a mobile game. Even though the first one's not out yet. Yeah, that classic
Snail game.
The mobile game is a companion marketing tool. I give it a pass.
Oh, I'm just talking about how they didn't even release gameplay. And they wanted to come out in the same year. But anyway, I won't harp too much. We'll see.
And it's going to have apparently a massive world of 15,000 square kilometers. I think my brother linked me a great video by Jim Sterling about massive worlds and being in no context. So that kind of reminded me of that.
I think you mean 15 million square meters, which is 122 square kilometers.
Yes.
Yes, math man.
Yes. These numbers, yes, indeed.
Matt the math man.
Yeah, I specifically included the kilometer numbers because in the press release they put 15 million square meters. And I'm like, that is really disingenuous.
Yeah, it is so like silly to mention that number. You're right. Who measures a world by square meters?
That's like house in square meters.
That's for houses, yeah.
Hey man, it's like those games that have like huge numbers on their attack values.
Yo,
It's like you hit someone, it's like 1 million damage.
it's okay when games get there. I just hate when they start that way. It's like level 3, you hit an orc for like 50,000. Come on, like why are you starting the numbers that high? Those are the worst. But yeah, Dark and Light. We talked about the PC version quite a bit. We're excited for it, but there's not much else new on that front. It just clearly Snail Game is doubling down the franchise. That's really the bit about the mobile game, the mobile MMORPG. Oh, wait, what about that second MMORPG you linked here, Blade and Soul, Hongmoon Rising?
Oh shit, new.
It may be
map in
the
Overwatch came
highest
out.
quality Chinese browser game ever to be made. I mean,
Really?
it's pretty high quality, but the thing is, it's still like basically a Chinese browser game at its core. It just uses a mini client right now, and I think that has to do with the fact that it's like full-on 3D graphics, and they might need the mini client to like have the extra performance. But it's going to be on mobile too, and the graphics. I mean, it's on par with Revelation in terms of graphics. I think if you're
All right.
looking at the trailer right
I
now.
am. It looks beautiful graphically.
But because it's full-on 3D graphics, one thing that I got a kick out of is when I played it, right? Because I played it on the Chinese version, the download speeds were awful. Like they're terrible. And because it's on a mini client, it downloads the game as you go. You know what I mean? Like every other like browser game, they have the flash files that load in as you go, and the flash animations and everything. Well, when I come into certain instances, people were just like, you know, the little peg people in life. They look like that, but yellow, and it showed that they're loading by filling up as blue. Okay, so when you go in, you just have these like peg things swarm around you, and they just stand there as you're beating on them, and it looks really silly until they finally load in, and most of the mobs are dead by that point.
But it looks beautiful. Look at but you said it's a mini client game. If you played any of the Chinese browser games, a lot of them do have the companion mini client. They don't look nearly as good as this, though. They don't look nearly as good as this.
No, it looks great, but it doesn't play any differently.
Does it? Yeah. So you tell me it plays like every other Chinese, where you have the CP at the top,
Basically.
and combat power. Oh no! Why?
There's
Why?
there's
ruin that
one
great
key
franchise?
difference. It has actual like telegraphs and like boss mechanics. It's just that the bosses don't do enough damage that you ever have to care.
No. Oh my! I hate when the games do
But
that.
wait, but I could be wrong. Eventually, they could be harder because I was going through the forums to see what people were thinking, and a lot of the Chinese players of the game are saying that the bosses are way too hard.
Wow.
And there's no cash shop yet, so there's no way to pay to win. I don't know if there will be. Tencent's been making great strides against pay to win with Moonlight Blade, so I mean, I can always hope. But as you saw in the video just a minute ago, you actually have to dodge outside of telegraphs, and people are saying they're too hard. So I mean, it may actually be like the first Chinese browser game type thing that is like takes from real, what we consider real MMOs.
I think it's gonna do well because again, there are so many games like it, but this is really upping the game in terms of quality. I mean, it looks gorgeous. And again, there's other games like this, but they can't compete. I don't think because they just look worse. They don't have Tencent behind it. And Blade and Soul, I think, is still a pretty well-known franchise.
Blade and Soul is a huge franchise. Apparently, it's like the second most played MMORPG in Korea right now. Basically,
Wow.
Second only to Lineage.
They're rocking it.
Isn't there also an anime for that? Or did I make that up?
There is, yeah, there is.
Yeah.
It's on our MMOs with animes list.
All right, Aaron, you gotta go back on that video and go to 114 and play it from there. There's some remarkable boob jiggle on there. I want everyone to appreciate that for a
Let's do
moment.
it.
Hey guys, did you guys see the news about the Overwatch map just came out?
Did it come out just today?
Just
It
right
did.
now, like literally right now.
What map is it?
New control map Oasis.
You know, if you went to
we actually
MMOs.com, you would know
tweeted it
that.
yeah, it's on
Oh, yeah.
MMOs.com. But there's like a nice big picture of the loading screen. You can check out.
Oh, nice.
Baby.
Yeah, right. We should play this like today and on stream.
The thing about like Overwatch maps, I need new maps. I don't get excited about new maps. I'm more excited about balance changes and stuff like that, and like things that would change the game.
Sombra, please.
Maybe just me. Like new maps don't do it for me. I don't really care about the new map, and I don't mind playing the same few maps over and over again.
Did you tell everyone about how terrible it was to play with me when I was playing Sombra?
Oh, she was an unbelievably bad Overwatch player, throwing games left and right. She tanked her rating from 2,500 to like 1,600.
It's lower
she
than
was
mine.
playing. Yeah, that's lower than like a lot of girls I know that play the game. All right, so that's a pretty big insult to you.
Okay. I was really stubborn. Okay, like I started playing Sombra, and I was like, Sombra, you know, she has a lot of things she can do, right? I got this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just could not win with her ever. And I was like, man, I just suck at this game, right? And there was one game that was like, oh, it was a really good map for Mei, and I was like, oh, I'll just play. I'll switch it up and play Mei one game,
Mhm.
and I crushed like so hard. I was like, wait a minute, am I actually not that bad? And then I started playing only Mei, and I got all my rating back.
Yeah, so she would tank back down to like 1,700, and from there she got back up to like 2,600 pretty quickly when she stopped playing Sombra. And actually, I played with her in my placement games, and we lost 7 games in a row with Shu playing Sombra every game. And I knew by game 2, like, holy shit, Sombra sucks. Shu, you suck with Sombra. But I didn't give a shit, so I didn't say anything. But we lost every game when she played Sombra. The moment she stopped playing Sombra, we started winning pretty easily.
I actually don't think I suck with Sombra, to be honest. Like,
Sure, you suck with Sombra.
I think
Sure, you suck with Sombra.
I just
Accept
think
it.
Sombra sucks. I just think Sombra sucks. All right.
Oh, shoot, for the record,
this is what it
Sombra's
is.
win ratio is like 48 or 47 last time I
It's
checked.
fucking terrible.
Your win ratio with Sombra was like 20, right?
It's because I can't carry. Okay.
All right. Blame the team. I love it. Blame the team.
I do.
Always blame the team. But
She's actually a lot better though, and like if you play it with like a what do you call it, like a pre-made, like coordinated pre-made. But I mean, you know that's not gonna happen, right?
sure, I think it's time to accept the fact that you may suck with Sombra as well. All right,
I don't
it's
think
within
I
reason.
suck with Sombra.
Your win ratio
Right.
was well below the average.
It's just like I couldn't kill anybody like at all. Like I'd hit them like to full, and then they just turn around and like just cap me in the face, like, and I just die. But like I legit like I can't even out damage like Lucio's heal. He just like jumps around and like with the heal, and like I can't out damage him. It's like I sneak up on him. The only people I can kill is like Widowmaker. Like I sneak up to Widowmaker and just like shoot her in the face. She's like a worse version of Tracer. Is the best way to explain. Like I played Tracer today.
Mhm.
Who's like the same. She's like the same, right? And I crushed with Tracer. Okay, she's like the same as Sombra pretty much.
Actually, shoot, speaking of games you've been playing recently, talk a little about Shadowverse. There's a pretty big expansion
Yeah,
for that
it
recently,
was
and you're a Shadowverse addict.
I do love Shadowverse. So Shadowverse released a new expansion called Rage of Bahamut. It comes with a bunch of new cards, and they released a bunch of new packs, which are you can buy for the cash shop money, but they're pre-made decks, and they come with rare cards that are actually really good. They're really good core rare cards. You can buy the decks up to 3 times. You get like a full set.
Mhm.
Excuse me. Also, Shadowverse, they gave a bunch of free packs to people as well. So
Shadowverse giving free packs?
they
No
give
way.
a ton of free
They
packs.
would
Like,
never do that.
If you wanted to play now, you would get like a ton of free packs. So like, I think it's really generous, and it's a good way to get people to play the game. So if you guys want to play
How many free
an
packs?
alternative to
You
Hearthstone,
get
you get a
10
bunch of
free packs for the expansion, which is pretty huge.
That's on top of like all the other free packs you get though, right?
Yes. And no other
Which is like-
game has
which is
given
like
so many free
30
packs.
35 free packs and then 10 for the expansion. You get a lot.
It's unbelievably generous. Shadowverse is they get you into the game by giving you free packs. No other card game has given me like 30 packs to start with the way Shadowverse has. And every time there's an event, I think on New Year's they gave everybody like free packs. On Christmas they gave people new packs. Every expansion they give players new packs. And we're talking not like 1 pack, 2 pack. They give like 10 packs for free every time a major event happens. So I've gotten like so many free packs. I've had no need to spend money on the game, and I love it because no other card game does that for you.
Yeah.
God bless Shadowverse for that.
Yeah, they actually gave was it 1100 gold, which is 11 packs for New Year's. But yeah, the game's pretty fun. The recent expansion, I mean, the balance is all fucked up right now, to be honest. But it's overall like I've had a lot of enjoyment with the game, and
All right, sure. What do you think about the UI? What do you think about the UI?
the UI. Well, the thing is I didn't play Hearthstone,
Hearthstone.
so I'm not like set.
You're not
in my
used to
ways.
good, competent UIs.
Well, I don't think it's too bad, but
It's awful. Come on.
what's awful about it? Like,
Everything. Like try and just go to my friends list and view. Like going from like
oh, okay, those are awful.
literally
Those are awful.
unplayable. Awful. Like that part. It's like it's
Yeah,
so bad that part.
I agree with that. That's them being stuck in their to be honest, their Japanese mobile mentality, right? I mean,
Yeah.
like, every Japanese mobile game is like that, and I guess to them that's like normal, but like to us that's terrible. You know, and I mean that might be why they do it that way, is because it's that's their core market, right? It's Japan. 1 second.
You may be pleased to know, Shay, we gave this game our card game of the year award last for 2016, and there's really wasn't too much other competition, but I think the game is a lot of fun. If you like card games, it's probably the best card game after, and probably the only card game that is still a distant second right now to Hearthstone.
I think the gameplay is really fun in it.
I had fun, but I'm enjoying the game a
It's
lot.
not gonna pass Hearthstone.
No chance. I agree. No chance.
I mean, of course, it has no pants.
No pants. Of course, there's no pants, Shu.
No chance.
You said pants.
Oh
She
my
said
God.
pants, didn't she?
God, like I have that sickness again. Like my mom got me sick, and I'm gonna be sick for like entirety of winter now.
Rip.
A ripperoni. I don't know. I was never a fan of Japanese UIs, but that's a different point.
That is a different point. That is a point we've explored quite a bit. But we do also need to explore some stats that Amazon Game Studios released about Breakaway, a game I did not have a chance to play, but I
damn it.
believe
We forgot.
the three of you did.
I didn't play it.
I don't could someone give me a quick, say, 1 or 2 line description of what the hell Breakaway is? I know it's a MOBA, but it also features some type of
It's a team-based arena game with multiple win conditions, including wiping the enemy team out or scoring a capture the flag kind of spiel. There it is.
Sounds confusing, but anyway, so we got some stats, and they were less than stellar when you actually give a breakdown. And luckily, we have Matt, a real gaming journalist, to break down the stats here. Apparently, there were a total of 9,375 matches played, and the total amount of playtime was 486,000 minutes. Now, when you divide that by the total number of matches, you only get about 51 minutes played per match, which really isn't that much.
No, it's pretty bad.
So-
It's pretty disappointing, actually.
And I know, Matt, you had said here that you didn't even play that much, did you?
No, and like matches don't last 51 minutes, so the stats are really low. And I just want to throw it out there that to explain how low these stats are, if every single person that played this weekend played 1 round, right? So there are 8 people per round. 8 times 9,000 is less than about 80,000. So less than 80,000 people would have played if everyone played a single round and they were all full. Now, we know that's not true, so significantly less than 80,000 people played the game over the weekend. And this is Amazon Game Studios' big debut. It's
Their
not
first
good.
game, yeah. That's unfortunate. I don't know. We checked it out. I thought they're trying something different, but it was confusing. Honestly, it was confusing. And MOBA is in general confusing, but this was also confusing, even though there was less variables of items and stuff like that. But it just wasn't. You couldn't just pick up and play. It was so clear from the games we played that so many people didn't know what was going on. And you can't just say go play the tutorial. Yeah, everyone had to play the tutorial, right? And you play for you queue for a public game, and all of a sudden everyone ignores the ball and kills each other. Nobody's even trying to play with the ball. How does that happen?
You want to know a more depressing stat? So if we assume that every match everyone played 1 match and there were just under 80,000, that means approximately 6 minutes per person.
Yeah.
If we assume that. It's awful.
But hey, it was an alpha, all right? And even though they let everybody in, it was like a fake alpha where you had to get a key, you had to get invited. But the second you put your email on the website, you get a key. You're invited automatically. So everyone got a chance to play if they wanted to sign up.
I think this game is basically their tech demo / trial run for their bigger game. I think it's called, or at least codenamed New World or something. It's supposed to be an MMORPG. So this is just
streaming events. With streaming-driven events. Somehow they're going to make it work in an MMO, and I'm scared.
I'm skeptical, but again, like I was saying, this game, this Breakaway, is just their trial run. Make sure they got the netcode down. They know how to like patch a game, keep it up, etc. So again, this, and also it doesn't look like a very big game in scope. So I think it can still find the niche with a small player base. So I don't think it came out too disappointing from their internal, I guess, projections. Because they did take the time to make that infographic, right?
Yeah.
So which means they were at least partially impressed enough to present that.
That's true. That's true. Otherwise, they would have not said anything.
Yeah, they just would have said, "Thank you for your participation. We had a great, overwhelming response. Good job, guys." You know, they didn't have to make that infographic.
That would have been a safe bet.
They didn't have to be so honest with the infographic either.
Yeah, it could have, just pick and choose the stats that help them.
That's fair.
And I mean, I think the biggest problem is they debuted a game that's just too complex for its own good.
Yeah, they had too many elements going on at once. So
That's pretty crazy. If you guys are confused about it, then
I was
that's
confused
really
at first
bad.
too. Yeah.
Well, not now, but like even now, there's so many things that you just forget about because you're too busy with everything else. It's hard to manage every single thing. There's so much micromanagement that has to be done.
Yeah. But I mean, hopefully it gets polished up because, hey, at least they're trying something different. If they can polish it up and make it so it's not as confusing and players get it, who knows? It might do well. But it's competing again a very absurdly difficult genre of MOBA, where
Does
League
it
and
have all
Dota
the
control
polish
it.
at least? Like it's really polished, or as far
No,
as, like,
'cause I think
It's
Matt, you described
polished.
it- yeah.
It's polished everywhere except movement.
Yeah.
Movement is not good.
Oh, I see.
You kind of stop to attack. I think that's the way you described it, and it does feel kind of weird when that happens. And for an action MOBA, you kind of want to be able to like swing like slightly in motion and stuff, and it's got to feel right. Yeah.
well, yeah. So I guess no one was a big fan of Breakaway.
Breakaway, not yet, not yet. I have a minor, not really a story, but minor achievement I accomplished in FF14 yesterday. I got a large house finally. I got a large house
Wow.
in Mist.
All that gambling paid off, huh?
It was 225 million gil I paid for it. It was a good chunk of change, but we got a large house, one of the nicest houses in the game. So that's big because there's very limited housing spots in FF14. Pretty poorly designed, honestly, the entire housing system as a whole because of the limitations and stuff. But we got it. We got a nice house, beautiful house. So I'm happy.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you,
You're,
Gumby.
you're living the dream.
Living the
I got
mansion
the old
dream.
house. I got the old house.
She took the old house back. We got the large house.
Not even
Dude, I
level
wouldn't
60
even-
yet, and he's got the biggest house.
Not even level 60 yet. Level 55. But I had 380 million when I bought that house of gil. So rocking it. Thanks, Fallen 950. Good shit. So I still have to get 999 million gil. The MMO resolution lives on though. So I'm gonna have the large house and 999 million gil.
You guys want to know what the funny thing is though? Is even though we got the, even though the whole house thing happened from like the in-game gambling, right?
Mhm.
Me and Omer in turn lost money.
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
actual gambling.
So yes, I made a lot of my money in FF14 running a casino. Even though we pay for the house at the casino, she was in Vegas and we lost money playing real gambling. Unfortunately, I'd rather win in real gambling and lose in game gambling. But unfortunately, it was the other way around. So rest in pepperoni, my money and Shu's money when she was
I
in
lost
Vegas for New Year's.
170. That's a lot. That's a lot for me.
Rip.
I think we have one last bit of news to bring up here, and that is regarding NetEase's next big MMORPG. They released a teaser trailer,
Ooh.
and I don't even know if this is properly called a teaser trailer. That's really what I wanted to get at after we watched this. This is actually titled Official Debut Trailer. I don't know if that's what it says in the original language, but you watch the trailer and it just kind of shows us some scenery, very pretty and whatnot, but it's not really giving us... Oh, am I getting an interjection here? Am I being thrown off?
No, we can hear you.
Oh, never mind. We're good. We're good. I'm right. We're good. So anyway, this isn't really showing me anything. For a game that's supposedly supposed to enter beta soon, this is basically just let's show off the environment and that's it.
But
It looks pretty enough.
It's just actual game scenery. What does that mean? Like it seems like CGI.
I guess they
It's in game.
It's in game. Yeah,
it's
it's
all
in
in
game.
Impressive.
Oh, that's impressive then.
No, it looks nice, right? It's just showing off the environment.
It's a
Nice
huge
to
step
understand.
up. It is a
Yeah.
huge step up from Revelation.
Yeah, this looks gorgeous.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, that's true. I don't know. At Revelation, I don't think the bar should ever be set at Revelation Online.
No, it's their
what people think about it.
their last major game.
This is their last major game. Well, Justice.
Revelation is their last major
Okay,
game
okay.
Released game,
previously.
Yeah.
Right.
This
They
looks
were.
gorgeous. The art's something about the graphics like gives me a very cutscene-y look.
Yeah, the lighting is well done. It actually reminds me. I don't know if you guys have watched any of the Age of Wushu 2 trailers.
Mhm.
Age of Wushu 2 has been teasing itself for a very long time, but they just basically show like a tree, a river, a rock, and then they
Mhm.
say, "Oh, look at this new trailer we got." And I guess this is a little better than that. This is showing up graphics, but I do find it funny the way
Yeah.
how teaser trailers their trajectory has gone, where it's kind of like little slices for the hype.
Did you guys see the way the lightning strikes? It's like fucking phenomenal. Just
Yeah.
I've never seen a game get the lightning so perfect.
I'm looking. I'm watching this thing.
There's something off about this. It seems too good. Even like the wind and stuff, like it just seems like
Yeah, like the
I
dust
don't know.
storm
You,
and stuff, and the way
you
the
can see it.
sun's
You can
off the
see
dust.
the flaws. That's what makes me believe it's real. You can see the flaws. Like when you see the book, you can see
yeah.
where they have the bones in the book. It's not cloth physics. You can see where they you can see where the physics engine is at work.
Mhm.
Let me put it that way. It's too obvious for it to be pre-rendered.
But this looks phenomenal. Like I don't think we've ever seen like before this like a Chinese game that's like really pushing the boundary on graphics. I mean, they make a lot of games, some great games, I'm sure. But like usually when we think of like beautiful, highest, best looking graphic games, we think maybe like Japan or US really. But this looks phenomenal. I mean, unfortunately, there's really no gameplay shown, really just in-game footage. But I'm curious to see what this will look like when it comes out.
The UI is gonna ruin it.
Yep.
Yeah,
it
there
is.
you go. There you go.
What's the name
The
of
cat
this
shop's
world?
gonna ruin it, alright?
That too.
The name of this world must be always windy because every single scene has wind.
Actually, if you guys are not fans of UIs cluttering up the screen, which I don't know who is,
I am not.
you'll be pleasantly surprised when we do ESO on Friday. It has one of the best, and by best I mean not their UIs I've played in an MMORPG so far.
Wow.
I've also said that a lot. I think ESO. I think you're right. I think ESO nailed it. It only shows you UI elements when you need them.
Yeah, but I think the one thing that I'm still shocked about with NetEase's new game is that it's Treacherous Waters Online in China. It's Justice in English. Like, why?
That
Why
makes
did
no
they make
sense.
it Justice out of all
We love
things?
justice.
There's actually another video too if you want to show off the game's graphic in light illumination technology. So that's a mouthful over there, but it looks gorgeous over here too.
This game looks crazy.
Right?
Shit.
The visuals are like out of
The
this world. They're
fire, the
nuts.
fire, and the fucking wind and rain.
This seems too good to be true, boys. I'll believe it when I can play it. All right. Until
I gotta see it in action. All I'm seeing is environments and some impressive stuff, but I want to see it online. You know, with
What-
people.
what-
Well,
running
you
around.
can
Yeah,
for
one-
briefly in that video, you can see someone like take control and walk. You can see it.
Somebody says it almost looks as good as Cal Online. All right. Maybe, but not quite Hero Online tier yet. That's the top quality of them, all right?
Once I have actual gameplay cluttering up their tech demo, we'll see what it really looks like.
Yeah, there you go. Once the gameplay gets in the way of the beautiful graphics, then we'll see. But yeah, it looks hella impressive. I'm glad I saw this. I mean, it's awesome.
So, yeah, there are some interesting things to look forward to this year. Hopefully, many more games will launch this year rather than get stuck in perpetual early access /
hmm
development.
Pre-alpha.
Yeah, all that
Again,
nonsense.
some of those games are going to come out. Some of those Kickstarter games are expected to come out this year, so it's good.
We shall see.
Let's hope. Yep.
All right. Well, any other ideas? Any other news? Are we good for the week?
Oh, we're gonna do late night live again.
Yeah, I'm going to stream with Shu. Probably. She want to do it today? Actually, no. After I come back from Costco. Depends on when it is.
Yeah,
we'll sell that for. We'll decide that on the post game.
All right.
All right. Well,
All right.
that's it for YouTube. We'll be live.
Happy 2017.
Yes.
Happy 2017.
2017.
Yeah, hopefully less deaths this year. You know.
Yeah.
Give us your.
I'm hoping
top-
for more deaths.
Give us your
Wow.
top expected
Wow.
game of 2017 in chat in the post game. So that's it, guys. Stick
More
around
celebrities
on
most
Twitch.
likely to die this year.
Take it easy.
See ya.
All right.
Peace.
Later for you too.